I hope you get it, honey. Okay, you ready, girl?
I'm ready now, girl. I don't know what's wrong with this iPhone. It's crazy. Didn't I try to cover the camera, girl? It got two cameras back there. Girl,
Mm-mm.
these kids are talking me into buying this mess.
You know how
You
the
know I like
kids
my
do. They be
you
they
know I
be
like my
doing the
old
most.
nasty piece of Android.
I told you I'm team Android all the way, baby.
I
I
am
don't give a
too.
damn what they say. I don't care about that. I had an iPhone. I think it was when the iPhone 6 Plus came out. My kids bought me one.
I
To
remember
show
when you
you
had the
how much I
iPhone.
don't give a damn about an iPhone, I ain't had no problem with forgetting it was on top of my car and just getting in the car, rolling backwards and having to roll over it too. Girl, I didn't give a damn.
I remember. I remember when BB got mad because you ain't want to get a new one and you had to cancel it. Remember that when you had
Yeah,
canceled
she
it?
called herself getting mad. But she'll be all right. All right,
Hello,
y'all.
chat.
We're gonna come in and talk about some tough topics that's been going on in the room. On what's been going on in the world. Okay. And the first subject that I want, first of all, I'm ass backwards today. Y'all know my guest co-host at times, Simone. Welcome. Simone, you want to make your introductions and greet the people before we move into the topics? Because I ain't gonna hold y'all long this Friday.
Hello, everybody. Nyca came on here because normally me and Nyca be having our own fuck shit Friday talk. So she said we might as well do it live. I said sure, I'll go on with you, but I hope y'all don't see that little fluke in me laying in my bed. I hope that's gonna
At
be
least
edited
you
out
got
the
some
video.
hair. All I saw was a bunch of damn hair. All that hair you got on your head.
Oh Lord, but um. We're gonna get into some topics, and you can get it raw and uncut like me and Nyca always do.
Yes, God. Yes,
So I
God.
don't
Welcome
know.
to
We
the
should give
room.
it
So
all to me
blessed
and
and
Nyca.
just net. Welcome to the rooms, my babes. Welcome to the room.
Nyca, we shouldn't give them all of how we act, should we?
Girl, we're gonna give it to them the best way we know how today, cause I'm
Okay.
not at 100%. I'm at a strong 70% right now, so I'm gonna give them what I can.
Please give Nyca some purple hearts in the chat. She had her date with Ben, and she's feeling a little down, so we just want to uplift her a little bit.
Thank you, thank you. Now, the first subject that we're gonna jump on into on this good old Friday, Happy Valentine's Day Friday, Fuck Shit Friday, is this topic of Dwayne Wade and his son, who, from what I understand, this is what I know about it. Then I'm gonna turn it over to Simone. I understood that a couple months ago he started coming out, with the fingernail polish and all of that. And I had read some of the stories. I had read a few of the stories, but I didn't really just weigh my thoughts and opinions in on the situation. I also saw that Gabby, his wife, was playing a very, very active role in her stepchild's life. And y'all know I'm all here for the blended family, but I felt like in a sense she was doing a little bit what we call too damn much. Kind of overstepping boundaries in my opinion, but those were just my opinions. Now I heard the other day that the child is stating that he wants to actually transition, and they're not going to put him on any harsh medications at this time, but they are supporting this 100%. And I felt some kind of way about that. In my opinion, and then I'm gonna pass it to Simone, but this is how I feel about this. First and foremost, his mama ain't dead. Now I don't know the situation really with the mom. Simone may know more, but I don't know what the situation is with Sheen dead. Okay. I know that there was some type of issues with custody, child support, and whatnot, and he now has primary care of this child, or if not 100%, access to the child. I feel like although I applaud Gabrielle Union for being in this child's life and kind of filling in where the mother is not, I wonder what the biological mother feels about all of this going on with the kids. I feel like, in a sense, Gabrielle is maybe taking on a role that's not truly for her. I think that the biological mother, if she wants to be involved, should have a lot to say and do in what this child is doing as he is still in his developmental years. Okay. Second thing I feel like is, and this is where the unpopular opinion may come in, Ed, but y'all know it wouldn't be me. if I don't just tell you the truth, even if it don't feel good. I respect the LGBT community to its fullest. I really do. I respect the LGBT community. How can I not? I have a egg in the community, so I get it. I get the struggle of the LGBT community. What I don't understand is now that y'all have gotten your just desserts, people know that you are a community to be reckoned with. Somewhere in all of this, giving you liberation to be who you want to be, love who you want to love, marry who you want to marry, it has become so sensationalized. It's becoming a trend to children these days. I worry about, are these children truly who are saying that they are, gay, lesbian, or whatever. I feel like these kids are I question whether or not they are really prepared to live that life. Is that really who they are? I've always believed that being gay, you know, is something that's in you from birth. Now I know that there are situations out there where things have happened and it has made a person decide to go over to the opposite side, whichever which side that they originally was on, right? I still feel like being gay is, instead of that just being a part of our new normal, it's the trend today. And in it being a trend, and all of these kids, we live in a social media era where all of these kids get on every day to Twitter, Instagram, the Snapchat, and all that other shit that they got out there for them. I feel like these kids every day they have it in their face how good it is to be a part of that community. And with repetition, and if it's the trend, people tend to jump on it. Just like we jump on trends all the time. Wigs, um, clothing, getting butt injections, getting your titties done. All of that is inspired by what we see every day in these social media streets. And because we spend so much time on it, it becomes a part of our lives. What I'm saying is, I don't dislike a child. I don't have a problem with a child if they want, if that's what is truly in their heart. But let that be something that they truly feel like that's who they are, not because that's the thing to do, because it's the trend today. I give these kids a chance to grow up and make that decision for themselves. My daughter told me in my conversations with her about her being lesbian, she always felt that way. But see, I didn't promote that in my household. I'm old school. I've learned a lot, but I never promoted that in my household. I always promoted them to be able to become the individuals that they wanted to be. And I would support as best I could. I feel like children nowadays, these young people at 11 and 12 years old, they're being told it's the thing to do. Oh, it's like almost as if they're pushing this shit on these kids without giving them the opportunity to grow into that and be able to support them once they make that decision. So I'm not feeling this transition situation. I know he say that now, but do y'all know how many children that are, and it's okay to disagree with me in here. I didn't come here for you to agree with me. I came here to tell you my heart and let you sound off as well. So we agree to disagree in this chat always, but we're gonna do it respectfully. In my opinion, again, being gay is like a trend. It's the thing to do. It does not. We don't promote um traditional couples, heterosexuality anymore. Nowadays, all we hear about is these kids. And hell yeah, I feel like at 12 and 13, they don't really know. They may think that because of what being put in their face, but how about letting these kids grow up and develop and decide for themselves that that's what they want to do? And then we as parents and the community support that. But don't sensationalize being gay, because while you telling them all the perks of being gay, are y'all truly putting the real in there? Are they telling you, are people telling these young folks how hard there are some people out here still make life for people in the LGBT community? Do they put it in their face how they could be ostracized in this life simply because of who they choose to love? No, you ain't telling them all that. You telling them that they can walk around with the rainbow flag on. They can walk around and do their thing. They can walk around, promote. My life ain't no promotion, and I don't think a child's life should be looked at as a promotion either. So I'm not in agreement with him making that decision this early. I'm okay with him saying that's what he wants, but I don't want him to be applauded for that. Let that be what it is. Let him figure that out in his mind. And his parents, his real parents, should be there to help guide him. Not saying she ain't no real parent, but she's a step parent that's part of a blended situation. But the biological mother, if she wants to step in and have a conversation with her child about this, should be permitted to do so. I'm not finna encourage this boy to do no transitioning at age 12 or 13, however old he is, because just like he's saying that today, 2 years from now, matter of fact, 6 months from now, something could happen in his life and he realized that ain't what I wanted to do. Let these kids grow up and be children. Let them make decisions for themselves like we were allowed to make decisions for ourselves about which way we wanted to go. Don't promote it, but don't demonize it at the same time. Now that's how I feel, and I'm gonna pass the floor on over to my co-host, Simone.
Thank you, Nyca. You made quite a few points that I'm gonna piggyback on. The first point that I'm gonna piggyback on is Gabrielle Union is exactly what she is, the stepmother. And that means she needs to step her ass back and allow his mother, Saya Van, that's her name. And if you Google on YouTube, she's made several videos. She actually had her own channel. Saya Van or Shy, I don't know. I'm saying it, I believe the way I saw how it's a weird name, but her and Dwayne Wade were high school sweethearts. He did the typical thing, got money, got rich, and then upgraded to a different wife, basically. He did the same thing the Neos did, the same thing the Kevin Harts did, and he upgraded to Gabrielle Union. At one point, Saya Van did have custody of the boys, but because he was so bitter and angry and mad at their custody debate or whatever, and she was actually homeless because he wouldn't give her any money, that he was able to finagle the boys away from her. So she was homeless, living with her mother. Um, she was out there kind of bad. So she started making videos to show how Dwayne Wade treated her. And that's when he was with Gabrielle Union. And she even said that he was messing around with Gabrielle Union when he was with her. But Gabrielle and him denied that. So that's a little background on that. She doesn't even see her children because he's convinced the court that she's crazy. She seems very knowledgeable and sensible when I see her I've seen her in the videos, and before, until he got with Gabrielle, she was fine. But when he divorced her suddenly, because she didn't even know they were getting a divorce, she thought everything was good. That's when she became cuckoo and all these other things. So my issue with the situation is Gabrielle is not the mother. As a mother of 3 children, I wish my ex-husband's wife would convince my one and only son that I have to be a little girl. That's not saying if my son came to me and we had this discussion at 13, my son is now 24. If he came to me at 24 and said, Mom, I'm gay, or Mom, that I would like to transition into a young lady, my son is 24 years old. There's really not much I can tell him. All I can do is talk to him about the positives and the negatives about it and take him places to educate him on his next journey. But at 13, the little boy has to be about 12 or 13 years old. At that age, they are not knowledgeable. They're not aware of all the dangers of being in the LGBT community can cause. And I just think he's a little sheltered little boy who lives a very sheltered life with parents who got money, but he doesn't know what he's really doing. And yes, Gabrielle, I think they're showing we're supporting him. Look, we're doing this. To me, I feel like they're using that little boy as a prop. You take them to the gay pride parade. That's nice and everything. And okay, I don't really have an issue with taking them to the pride parade. But then when he started wearing nails and different things like that, that's when you sit down and have the conversation with him. And if he still decides at the age of 18 that he wants to transition, then that's something. Then at that time, he's an adult. He can make the decision. At this age now, I would not be encouraging it. I wouldn't even be sitting up there allowing him to do some of the things he does. Because to me, you're putting this in his head that it's okay. Which, like I said, at 18, if it is okay if that's what you want to do, but not at 12 and 13. And that's the problem I really have with the issue with the child. I think he's just entirely too young. And then they said that they're not going to start him on hormones, which is good. Now I don't know if anyone watches TLC, that show The Life of Jazz that comes on there. Her parents started at 4 years old. And the mom's reason was she always was different. She wore my heels, she wore makeup. The thing was, at 4 years old, you should have been stopping her then from wearing your heels and wearing makeup. They took that and made that little girl into a cash cow and let her transition on TV. Every time you turn around, she's emotional, crying, and going to do different things. Every time you see her on TV, she is just a wreck. So that show goes to show you that at that young age, they're just too young to make that type of decision. And I don't applaud parents who um, would suggest that to their children. I just don't. I personally would applaud parents for standing by their child, talking to them through it, going to seek counseling, and then recommending at the age of 18 that they go ahead with the transition. I'm very angry with the situation because, like I said, Gabrielle Union is not the mother. And as a mother, I would be furious if I'm sitting back and I could not reach out and talk to my son and tell my son how I feel on it. She should not be allowed to be in that situation. Guiding that little boy. I understand they live with her, they live in that house with her, but her child is Kavia. I think that's the name of their daughter. That's Dwayne Wade and her child together. That's who she should be making 100% decisions for, not that little boy. So that's my opinion on it. And I can speak to this because I am a stepmother. As a stepmother, my 14-year-old stepdaughter is in the community. Nyca can tell you. And trust me, as a mother, I was very much so against this. My stepdaughter, oldest sister, who is not my husband's daughter, she was LGBT. The mom let her start dressing as a little boy at 7 years old. I'm gonna give this feedback. At 7 years old, she started letting her dress as a little boy. Well, she grew up. When she got 18, she became a full lesbian. This is the oldest sister. When my stepdaughter was little, that's all she saw was her sister. She didn't have no one else. So my stepdaughter started emulating her behavior. And then now my stepdaughter, and you can ask Nyca, she plays football. I told my husband, why would you let her play football on an all boys team? So she picked up the behavior of her sister. So now that she's 15, she's at the stage now where she's confused. She likes boys, but then now she likes girls. And this is why I say I gave that example because at this age, they're just too young to decide. So when she sat down and I talked to my husband about it, I said, you should sit down and have a talk with her. And then when she gets 18 and she decides she wants to be a lesbian, allow her to be whatever she wants to be. But right now, really ask her, is this what she want? And go over the dangers and different things. And I try to stay out of it because that's not my child. So I don't need the kickback or the problems, but all I can do as a stepmom is make suggestions. And that's what I think Gabrielle asked you to do. Make suggestions.
I agree. I'm sorry. I see some people in the chat, that's saying that I saw Miss Rita Brown say that she feel like this anti-gay. I could not be on here being anti-gay. I got a gay kid, and if y'all don't know nothing else about me, y'all know damn well I love my eggs. I love them from the top of their heads to the bottom of the soles of their foots. Okay, I do. So I can't be anti-gay. And if you go back into my archives, I tell y'all about how it was for me transitioning to the person I am today, opposed to who I was raised to be. Coming in a household where you can't, being raised in a household where you cannot be free to express yourself and to do what you want to do. My parents didn't raise us like that. My children were raised, I was raised that in that old school thing. If a child gave any indication that they was gay, lesbian, or otherwise, they get the one to put holy water on them and preaching and pray around them and dry their ass
Mhm.
up the damn wall. You know, that's the era I come from. So when my daughter came and I found, well, I started seeing it before I ever even, child, I started seeing it a long time ago. I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming. But I didn't know how to handle it, y'all. I did not know how to handle it. So instead of me, just listening to her, I was trying to change her and I almost lost my child behind that.
Mhm. I
So I'm
remember
not
that.
anti-gay, but I'm still a mother and I still got common sense. And I'm sitting here looking at this and I see every day because I'm on these internet streets. I see how much they make being gay seem like it's a trend. That's not a trend. These are these folks' lives. And if you're gonna promote it, don't just promote how glorious it is. Keep it 100. Tell them about the crimes that could be committed against them. Girl, this wig done shifted. Y'all gonna talk. I got to fix my wig. Y'all know that
Oh
this gonna
Lord.
happen when y'all ask me to go live. My wig shifted and I gotta fix it. That's all I'm saying. You just got
Well, I want to say that I don't believe I'm anti-gay because I disagree with you. That makes me anti-gay. Then call it what you call it. But I'm a mother, and I don't want my children out there. I'm human. I don't want my kids to be taunted. I don't want my kids to be hurt for their sexual preference. I want my kids to be old enough to understand what they are doing, and when they're ready to do it, that they can accept the responsibility that comes along with it. So I don't believe that's anti-gay. And yes, I do agree. Some kids do know what they want to do and what they choose to be. But at 12 and 13, you want to be a lot of things. At 12 and 13, I want to be a member of the WNBA. That was until I played basketball all through high school and got to college and found the finest man I thought in the world and end up hooking up, getting pregnant, and having my son. So we all have different dreams at that age. At 12, that's what I wanted to be, a WNBA player and a doctor. And I'm not neither one of those things. But I did end up being my third choice, which was in a lawyer. So what I'm saying to everyone is that doesn't make me anti-gay because I don't agree with you. And I disagree with that statement. And I guess me personally, I'm a very protective mother. I see how the children get treated. Like I said, I volunteer at the transition housing center here in Michigan. Um, I do it twice a month. And a lot of kids are homeless, are thrown out of their homes. They're rejected by their families. And we have to find these kids homes. And a lot of in foster homes, sometimes a lot of them do get adopted into foster homes, but a lot of them stay in the center. And I get to talk to these kids, and I know this is really how they feel, but at the same time, they tell me things like, maybe I should have waited to tell my parents, or maybe it's a lot of different emotions that come along with it. And you have to be strong to be able to take the punches and the blows that come with it when you decide that you're going to go um, to be a part of the community.
I agree. Now, Miss Rita, you said, but
Can everybody hear me?
I hear you. We hear you. You still, well, you had some more to add on because I put a
Nika, can you
question.
hear me?
Yeah, I can hear. Can you hear me, Simone?
Nika,
Yes. Can you hear me?
girl, the name call as soon as I got in the damn thing.
Anyway, she'll be back. What I wanted to say to you, Miss Rita, But is it? But it is anti-gay. If your 12-year-old daughter says she was attracted to boys, what would you say? You know what I would say to her, Miss Rita? I would tell her to go sit her fast tail ass down some damn well and worry about getting that book and then get that arithmetic and and all of that together. Worry about that. I would give her. I wouldn't glorify the fact that she like a young, but she coming to me at 12 years old, still wet behind the ears, breath just reeking of Similac, telling me something about she like a boy. Just like I would not be okay if my 12-year-old son, which he did do that, my 12-year-old son came to me talking about girls, and I got him swiftly and professionally together
Mm-hmm.
all at one time. So it's not about being anti nothing. Just because I don't choose to sleep with women don't mean that I have an issue with the community as a whole. It just simply means that I would prefer, just like I'm not pushing laying up with no man or to my daughters, or laying up with no woman to my sons, or even if it was, a situation where it's my son want to lay up with another man, my daughter want to lay up with another woman. I don't promote none of that. I promote growing up,
Mm-hmm.
having a healthy environment to which to grow up to make that decision about what it is you want to do with your life. It's never anti-gay. I'm always pro-children. I'm pro-choice too. I don't have a problem with this child if that's what he chooses to do later on. But what I'm saying is right now, because it's the thing to do, he feeling like this is a good thing. Later on, 5 years from now, he may actually be upset that this was even brought out or even discussed this, because he may be in a different headspace at that time. I would say wait until you are of age. I muted you because that music will get me, girl. Oh,
Okay, Nika, he cut it down.
okay,
He got
because
the
that'll get
speaker in
my
the house
video
on.
demonic.
Yeah, I didn't know you could hear it because I'm in my room. Um, I want to say I apologize if anyone didn't hear me earlier. My friend who always bugs me, you knew who that was, called and interrupted me
It's all
while
right.
I was talking. So I don't know how far I got ahead. I don't think it's anti-gay to say that I want my child to wait till they're an adult to make that type of decision. I think that's being a good parent. And like Nika said, my daughter is 16 years old. My daughter was not allowed to have boyfriends, and my son is now 24. He wasn't allowed to have girlfriends until they were 16 years old. A little boy likes my daughter right now. And he, guess what? I have to meet him. He has to come over my house. I have to meet his parents. I have to, it's a ritual to come to date my daughter. My daughter could not, under 16 years old, could not even dare talk to me about a little boy because I told her at that age, and I don't even think 16 is mature enough for some people to talk about dating. So I don't feel that that's making me homophobic because I'm saying that. I don't care either way if it's boy, girl, dog, cat. My child has to be mature. And what I say this is because the other day when I went to pick my daughter up from school, and I told Nika the story, the young lady that used to come over our house all the time and spend the night, Tati, I had pulled up the other day and she waved at me and she said, "Hey, Ma, how you doing?" I said, "Hey, how you doing?" She is in the ninth grade. My daughter's in the 11th. She was hugged up with this, I thought was a boy because it looked like a boy. And then when my daughter came to the car, and the more and more I looked, I said, "Is that Tati hugged up with a girl out here kissing on her?" She said, "Yes." She said, "Yes, Mama. She is a lesbian now." I said, "Oh my goodness, wow." Now, just last year, she was sitting up there kissing up some little boy and came over my house, knocking on the door, wanting my daughter to go with her to go fight some girl over a little boy, which my daughter know better than do some stupid shit like that. But still, this is what I'm saying. At that age, they're not mature enough to make that decision. And that's my point. And if someone can't accept that, I don't know what else to say. And just like with the Dwayne Wade situation, I think they need to take that little boy out the spotlight. Stop every time they do something with him, or every time he's doing something that's part of the community, they're sitting up there making posts and talking about it. Let him live his life, and if he does transition, let him do that in private. Our Kelly daughter is a prime example. She transitioned. She didn't transition till she was 17 or 18 years old, and she did it in private. By the time she started transitioning, she was of age. And R. Kelly turned his back on her also and did not claim her. Nyca?
Girl, you know we ain't gonna get R. Kelly too much now.
I know we ain't gonna get R. Kelly too much because I know you, but I'm just saying, you do know, am I telling the truth? His
Yeah,
child transitioned.
he wasn't okay with that. That much is
He
true.
was not okay with it. And his child was 17 or 18. He never ever fully ever was okay with what his daughter was doing. But what I'm saying is when she did make that decision, his ex-wife, Andrea, was there supporting her. But she was 17, 18 years old when she decided. She knew that when she was about 15, or what did she say? When she was about 14 or 15, she knew that's what she wanted to do. But she waited till she was 17 or 18. Andrea told her to wait. And that's what she did. Now, R. Kelly never ever did give her support, which is sad, but that is the honest to God truth.
That's true. Ain't nothing I can say about that. Thank you, Miss Rita. I appreciate the super chat. I just want y'all to walk away from this because we ain't gonna spend our whole time on this because I don't want it to go left. I swear I ain't in the mood. But I just wanted to say, give these kids a chance to make the decision. You don't, your job as a parent, I ain't never, I have to agree with what Ned said. My God gave me my eggs. Those are my angels from him. It's my job to guide him, or them, him and her. I got two of both. It's my job to guide my children. It ain't my children God job to guide me. And if my child come out to me and say, "What's wrong, baby?" If my kids come out to me and tell me that at a young age that they feeling some kind of way, then I'm not going to dismiss them. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I'm going to dismiss them. What I'm saying is I'm not going to promote it. We're going to have an open and honest conversation. We're going to let time go by and development to take place. And once you get to that place where you feel like your child, you feel that child feels like once they become an adult or close to an adult, that yes, this is the step that I want to make. I want to transition. Then I'm gonna support that 100%. But I'm not gonna support it until I feel like you are mentally prepared. And at
Mhm.
11, 12 years old, you not finished growing mentally. So you don't know that what you said. Girl, when I was 11 years old, I wanted to be a whole nigga out here. Okay? I did. I used to ask God all the time why he didn't make me no boy because I have too many goddamn boy like tendencies. I think like a dude a lot, you know.
Yes, you do.
And so even that followed me into my adulthood. But look what
Mm-hmm.
I started wanting to have the peen. I started wanting to have the pics. I started to embrace the breast. And you know, I love being a woman now. But when I was 11 years old, I used to want to be a boy so much that I would take my hair. And I told many of you this before. My hair when I was growing up was long and it was down my back. That was part of why I used to always have to catch so much hell in my household because I was a little bit different. I didn't look like the light bright almost white, but that hair was. And I was black as hell, just like I am now. So growing up, I would roll my hair up in balls, stick them under a baseball cap. Girls out here was trying to get perms and dark and lovelies and all of that. Child trying to stretch their hair out because they didn't like the skin that they was in. They didn't find their natural coils to be a beautiful. I always wanted mine to do that. It wouldn't do it. So I would take mine, wrap it up in a ball and put it in a ponytail, put on a baggy pair of pants and a heartbeat and hang out with the fellas. I did that for years. It was a time period in that little time where I actually thought that I was a dude and wanted to be a man. I was looking at the girls too. But as time went on, first of all, I couldn't go tell my mama that back in the day. Well, my mother had passed by the time I started really getting into that. I couldn't go tell my auntie that. Nowadays, you can go talk to your parents. I was a whole nigga I killed until around about 14, 15 years old. And in my mind, I wanted to be a man. And when I had heard somebody say that I could change into a man, that was in the back of my mind all for all that time. But I couldn't go tell my parents that because back then you couldn't tell your parents no shit like that unless you wanted the preacher to come over there on a Saturday and they waste your whole Saturday making your ass pray and talk and trying to exercise the demon and all of that. So by the time I hit 15 and I started getting aware, I noticed I started changing. I didn't want to be with the girls. I wanted to be like the girls. And I started taking them buns down. I took them baseball caps out. I wanted outfits that kind of accentuated what I had to offer. I changed. And I've been happy with the decision that I made to this day. I loves me a piece of man, okay? But what I'm saying is let these kids make that decision for themselves. Just be there to support them. Happy Valentine's Day, Tracy, and welcome to the room. Don't be pushing that up on them kids. They over sensationalize homosexuality. And the minute somebody like me with their hetero ass come in and say something about it, now I'm looked at as if I'm anti-gay. How when I have a daughter that is anti-gay? One of the most wonderful people I know is gay. He's a drag queen. I adore that man. There is no way that I could feel I could be anti that. And Sean, what the hell you had talking about morning? Girl, you and your husband done took a flight. I'm sorry, she that threw me off, y'all. I'm sorry. I need to do better. Let me pay attention. Anyway, I just want these kids to have a chance to make the decision for their own self. I feel like we are over here as a society now. We are sensationalizing being a part of the gay community, and we're not telling these kids the truth. You're not telling them about the downside of being gay. We're not telling them what they're gonna be facing in this world because as much, hey Shan, welcome to the room. As much as I love my LGBT Q community, it, everybody don't love you like I do. It's people that'll hurt you. I don't want that to happen. That's how I feel.
And I think anyone who's a parent can understand that. I mean, I read her comment, someone's comment that said kids know a lot of things. Kids to me know certain things, but kids don't know shit about being an adult. Excuse my language.
They don't. And I don't feel like we as parents
Nyca, can you
should.
hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear
Everybody keep
me?
calling me.
Come out, go out and come back in if you have to. Okay, she'll come back in. But that's how I feel about it. I'm like, why are we why is this boy's business all out here? We don't have to know. Just because they celebrities don't mean that we gotta know everything that happened in their life. They still peoples, you know what I mean? So I don't understand it.
I'm
I
sorry,
don't
Nyca.
understand it.
Everybody keep calling me all of a sudden today. Don't nobody never want to be bothered. Now they want to call me when I'm talking about something I really want to talk about. Those children are just too young. And like I stated, any parent out there will care for the safety of their kids. If you love your children, you would be concerned about letting your child go out in the world the way we live in now, in the times that we live in now. And that's all I'm saying. I know what Nyca's saying, and Nyca lives this every day. I don't live that part every day, but I live the part as a mother. Nyca could tell you I'm very protective of my kids. I'm so scared about sex trafficking. I don't let my daughter walk anywhere. And we live within a half a mile radius. She could be with two, it could be her and her girlfriend. No, mama gonna get up and take you. And Nyca be like, you sure better get up and take her. Nyca be on my head. When she went to basketball game, I didn't want to take her one day because Nyca loved the children. And when she said that, it's not an over exaggeration. She really does. She made me get up and take my daughter to the basketball game because I was so pissed off at my daughter that day. And she said, well, she's still gonna go, so just go on and get up and take her. So it's just not that concerned. As a parent, you're concerned, period. And at that age, they don't need on the added pressure of that on their head. And that's all I'm trying to say. And I don't want people to feel that we are. And like I said, my whole issue is I just feel like stop putting that boy out in the public. And then I read a comment saying, well, because his parents are public figures. So what his parents are public figures? So Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt were too. And you rarely saw their kids. You didn't know what the hell was going on with the Rainbow Coalition that they got, because they said they want their kids private. And I actually understand and get it now. I don't agree because you're a star that every part of your life should be known. And I understand it. I get it. And that's all we're saying.
That's all I'm saying. I mean, and then I'm passionate about that. But another reason why is because I seen the ugly side. Hold on.
And yes, Yolanda, you're right. Watch your sons too. I agree with you. If you got male children, my son, I do the same thing with him. I don't
I'm
discriminate.
afraid because I'm telling you, man, when my daughter finally came out, she was still in high school. And she decided for some reason she wanted to wear, a real low cut and stuff. And even though she still do the girly stuff, we do face and all of that stuff. Child, I remember us going out and people looking at her strange. And one time we went with one of her little friends somewhere. They was kind of holding hands, and I remember how people was looking at them. I remember I almost went to jail down there at the boardwalk of Louisiana
Mm-hmm.
because the motherfucker said something to my daughter, said something slick, and I don't give a damn. I will go to jail with gasoline draws on. I will go to hell with gasoline draws on
Okay.
behind what I brought in this world. And he said something, and before I know that, I had to jumped up, baby. I had to jumped up and went over there asking him, "Is there a problem? Is there a problem, baby?" I was prepared to snatch this wig off because I don't mind. And I know that that's what they have to do. I know they have to face that going into life. So why the hell would you want to put that on them all at once? Let them make that decision for themselves. They deserve that. Nurture them. Let them know that this ain't 1950. You can come and talk to me. And if they do, be honest and open with them. Tell them the pros and the cons, but don't push it on them. Don't promote it. Let it just be there and let them figure it out. Not put it all out there for everybody. I did not even tell y'all my daughter was gay. And I told y'all that about 4 years ago. When I told y'all, after I told her first, I asked her, could I talk about her on this YouTube channel? I respect the community, but I'm not no fool. I seen the ugly side of the community. I don't seen my daughter come up in here because she done had a fight down at the mall because somebody that said
Mm-hmm.
something sideways to her or came at her wrong. I done seen people try to get together on Facebook and plan to jump my daughter. I'm not Gabby and D Wade. I don't got the type of money they got, so I can't offer her that type of protection that maybe he will have going forward. But make no mistakes about it. They gonna come for your child. Now,
Oh yeah, remember that time
they
when she was
pull
at
it
her
off,
job?
let it be.
Nyca, remember that time she was at her job and the man wanted to come back and threaten her, and he said
Yeah,
he will be back. Yeah, I remember that too. And Nyca called me. I was ready to get on a flight. Hey, let's do this.
Girl, I called you on the interstate on my way up there, and I sat up there. Matter of fact, I think I did a lie. I did.
You did. You
I
sat
did
up there.
video.
You
I
sat up
found her
there.
job, baby.
Yeah.
Just go in the archives, honey. Go in the archives.
Yeah.
You'll
You
see
sure
how
did.
hard I ride for mine. I sat outside her job till she was done, and baby,
Sure
trust
did.
and believe I was ready. Do you hear me? I was ready, set, go. I came up there with the hair already wrapped up. You weren't gonna have to pick up my good wig out the damn parking lot as they taking me to jail. I came ready. Wig off, tennis shoes on, Vaseline greased up. That's the world we live in today. While you on social media thinking this shit is glamorous, it's a real thing. And I don't play no games when it come to my eggs, and I don't play no games when it come to kids in general. Stop trying to make these kids be something that put something in their life that may not be what they actually want to do all their lives. I stand firm in my yes, the so my good with I don't wear the bad ones until Saturday when I'm cleaning around the house. Every other day I got a good one on. Uh I don't play about these kids. Stop trying to make these kids push something on these kids that they may not be ready for. Give them the opportunity. Why y'all? I'm so irritated with the world today because what happened to letting kids be kids?
Because people nowadays, a lot of parents nowadays, before I say what I'm gonna say, Shauna, thank you for sharing your story. I appreciate that. And I would like to talk to you to get more of a better perspective if you're willing and open to doing so. And Apocalypse, you've been dropping jewels lately in this chat, and I do have to recognize that and tell you you are, because I watched the video 2 weeks ago about a young man who no longer wanted to be transitioned, who want to detransition. So it's funny you said that. But now back to what I was saying. Kids are not allowed to be kids nowadays because number one, let's just be honest. A lot of these parents try to be friends and are young and are not parents. I mean, I was a young parent. I had my child at 19. I was in college. Freshman year, got pregnant. I was a young parent, but guess the difference between me and the next man? I was a parent. I was young, but I knew what I had to do. I would have my baby on my hip, on my back, going to school with me in college, right there with me. I wanted to make sure I was able to take care of my child. My child was not my friend. My son, me and him have a different relationship than my two girls do because I had my girls when I was a lot older and more mature. Me and my son have more of a laid back relationship, but I still am my child. God, stop calling me. Nyca, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Can you hear us? Can you hear me?
Donnie keep calling.
Figuring out she might come back in every time they call. It's gonna throw her off. Okay, so I'm not saying it's the moment sorry to do that. Ooh, welcome to the room, Silly Boy. I apologize if I pocket dial you. I didn't know it, baby. Okay, you back, Simone.
People just keep calling me today. I'm famous for some reason today. But I had my son young, but my son knew I was mama. My son knows things that he cannot do, he cannot say in front of me. But now look at my other friends who had kids, they're their kids' friends. And then my friend asked me one day, well, why you don't sit there and do this with your son? Because my son is not my friend, that's my child. And so that's the difference. You have younger parents. You have parents, those parents were raised on social media. So they think it's okay to do everything on social media. That's the new trend. Everybody thinks everything's cute to show on social media. It's cute to do this, it's cute to do that. It's not. It still should be some privacy. When I was a kid, I remember my parents telling me, you better not carry your ass out here and repeat nothing that happened in this household. What goes on in this house stays in this house. But nowadays we share every damn thing. So there is no, kids don't know what privacy is. Because even with my kids, sometimes I could say, well, you don't need to be telling that. But it's mom, it ain't no big deal. It's a big deal to me because I said don't go outside of my house and say shit. So y'all gotta excuse my language, but that's how my kids, when I tell them something, they don't listen, I get in their ass. My son, it was no big deal. We were talking about something the other day, and he told me, he said, but mom, you act like that's a big deal. I said, look, I grew up in a time where you don't discuss what's going on in your house. And I don't need you discussing what goes on in here. Period. And that's just it. These kids nowadays are not used to being kids. My kids, my youngest, I have to damn near force her to go outside and play. And that to me makes me so upset because I remember at 9 years old, we would be at once my nana said we can go outside at 11. My parents wouldn't see us again till 5 o'clock dinner time. And then we had to have our butts down the street when the street lights came back on. We had to be on our porch. We
Mhm.
never we never stayed in the house. And I did have an Atari and a Coleco, but we hardly even played that. We was outside playing basketball in our backyard, playing with the neighborhood kids. Where I live at is kids, but they never hardly ever come outside. So that's the difference. These kids nowadays just don't know what childhood is. Like last summer, I sat there and I drew on the ground with my daughter. I said, "Let's play jacks, where you what's hopscotch, where you hop over the numbers." My daughter didn't even know what it was, and I was like, "Wow." These things amaze me. My kids in Detroit, well, my kids don't go to Detroit public schools, but in Michigan public schools, they do not even teach the kids to write in cursive. My kids do not know how to write in cursive. I had to personally go to a teacher store, buy them a book, and show them how to write in cursive. So these are things, these kids nowadays just aren't learning the things we learned. Just though these parents aren't teaching them things we were taught. And that's part of it. They live their life on social media. They live their life playing with the iPads, video games, and different things instead of being kids, carrying their asses outside, playing
That's the reason
hopscotch,
why you hear
double
me over
dutch.
here. I goes off on my grandkids. Hell no. We gonna disconnect. Disconnect
Yeah,
from
you do.
the iPhone, disconnect from the iPad, disconnect from the laptop, turn off that PS3, 4, or whatever one it was. Y'all had me spend about $500. Disconnect all. Go outside, get some vitamin D. Let that sun hit you. Get you a ball and play. Enjoy your childhood because when it's gone, it's gone. And don't be in no rush to be no adult. It took me to become an adult to quite understand that. Once
Hmm.
I became an adult, now I see why my mom and them used to say, go be a child long as you can be a child.
Yes, God.
I'm ready for what's going to happen in this world. Mm-mm.
I just
Mm-mm.
had that conversation with my daughter the other day. I said, "You don't want to rush time. I wish I could go back to being 9 years old. Well, I didn't have no bills." And I remember my mom telling me, "You better enjoy being a kid while you can." And that's what I try to tell my kids. I try to teach them to be kids. Now, my daughter, she acts like a kid, but my daughter is kind of antisocial. And that's because she doesn't go outside and play enough. So as that's my job as mom to step in and say, "You know what? I got to find an activity for her to do. I got to do something instead of having her in my face all day listening to grown folks' business." And I told her, "What activity would you like to do?" She told me art. I said, "Art is not an activity. That's something you can draw and do at home. I will put you in art, but you're going to take swimming lessons. You're going to do something productive with yourself." That's why you have so many overweight kids. When we were kids, kids weren't overweight. You had a few little chubby ones, but for the most part, everybody in the neighborhood was skinny because we was outside playing, running up and down the street, doing all types of stuff. Hell, my grandma, my nana would keep us, and my grandma would keep us. We wouldn't even be in the neighborhood. We'd be some damn where else. Long as we had our asses home by the time the street lights came on, that's all that mattered. Or she was getting that switch on our behinds. And it's something that Sean said too that I want to piggyback on. She said it's no elders, and that's true, because a lot of the elders were young elders by the time when this generation came along, that they weren't there to teach the kids. Like I had both of my grandmothers up until my one grandmother died at when I was 10, but that's who kept us all those years. My grandmother. Then my other grandmother died when I was my son is what 24. So 25 when my son was one, she died. No, 15 years ago my grandma died. So I had her in my life, but that grandma worked. My grandma always worked. My granddaddy always worked. He worked for Ford. You be like, "Granddad, we gonna go such and such." I gotta go to work, baby. So when you don't have those elders that don't spend time with you, then you are lost. Like my kids, I thank God for my mom and dad. My mom and dad is the grandparent Nyca is. They'll come get the kids. I'm taking the kids to the movies. I'm taking the kids to do this. My mother sat me down and she said to me, Simone, put them kids in activities. You can't have them sitting there all day. You go to work all day and then you come home and they're just sitting in the house playing video games and doing nothing. So I think that's what this generation is lost. And it's going to take parents to push and make them change. But honestly, we're not going to get them, break them fully from the iPads, the video games, and the things that they're used to playing right now. All we can do is sit down, try to talk to them and encourage them. Because I can attest as a parent, I have that struggle with my child. I really do. My two older children, my 16-year-old and my 24-year-old, they are big, that I don't have to worry about them. They gone. They don't never hardly ever. My daughter going to the movies tonight. My son, he be gone. But my 9-year-old, you have to damn near push her out the door to do things. And the person who has to make her do things is me. And as a parent, I have to hold myself accountable for that. And that's what a lot of parents need to start doing. Grandparents as well. I mean, step up. Enroll your
Yeah.
grandkids in things.
Go with them. Get them
Go with them.
involved and stuff. I don't mind going to the little kids' place and taking my shoes off, getting in the balls with the cheer. I'm with that. We have me and my grandkids. We have every at least twice a month. We have a Saturday where I designate that to being
Yep,
with
you
them.
do.
I take them to the movies. We go to the skating ring. They love the skating ring because they get to see Granny fall down by 27 times, and I make it fun. I'm when I'm with my grandkids, I teach them how to be social, how to have a conversation with a person. Now they ain't just bending over backwards to be friendly, but if you speak to them, they will speak to you. And I want them to be social. That's basically what I'm saying. And I want them to enjoy every minute of their childhood because once adulthood sets in, oh baby, that's when the stuff get real. Then life gets totally real for you. Then
Like I explained to my daughter, she said, Mom, when did you feel like you were
for
adult?
real.
I said, when I came in that hospital at 19 years old, and I'll never forget my water had broke. And my dad was taking me to the hospital. And I'm sitting in the back seat of the car crying because I know my days of being young and wild is over with. And Ready or Not by After Seven was playing, and I'm sitting there singing, crying. I get to the hospital, and they tell me tonight you will be a mother. I came in that hospital by myself, and I left that hospital with a baby. And that's when reality set into me that I am no more. I'm not gonna have the freedom that I used to have. I thank God that I had a mom and dad who kind of kept my son for me, allowed me to go to school and do different things. But at the same time, at that point, I knew I was a mother and I had to step up and step my pussy up, as they say, and do what I'm supposed to do. And just read my book. Maybe in your neighborhood it was fat kids. Well, I grew up, wasn't hardly none of us fat growing up. I don't know. Maybe it's just a Detroit thing, but when I growing up, we were all nice, slim, because we stayed outside all damn day playing. So,
Oh, that wasn't just no Detroit thing because I'm from the South, and
and
I'm
I
gonna
ain't know
be
no
honest
fat
with you.
kids. None of my cousins in the
We
South,
did
none of
have
us was
some
fat.
kids that were kind of thick, but for the most part, it wasn't like that because we were so active, we were so involved. We would have activities, even if we weren't involved with after school activities. We had people in our
Hmm.
neighborhood that would have little clubs and little, like they had a little basketball league for the boys. They had in the summertime baseball, girls and boys. Girl, we was active and we was eating chitlins and hog maw too, just like everybody else, but we wasn't fat because we burnt it off all the time by being so active in school and whatnot, and then coming home to activities. My kids growing up, I didn't let my kids just sit up in here and watch and play on no. Now they got
Mm-mm.
MySpaces and all of this stuff, but baby, I will fix the computer to where you can't log on the MySpace. And I used to have my cable set to where it would shut the TV off at a certain time. Go outside. You can't if you come home and you watch 2 straight hours of TV, then you've missed your TV for the day, because when it shuts off, it's just gonna shut off until I get here and cut it back on. If you
Yep,
get
I
on
do that too.
my face when you get directly out of school and you on there them 2 hours before it takes me to get home, by the time I get home, I got something for you to do, because you can't get back on it for the day. Limit the amount of time that they spend on their
Mm-hmm.
kids, get them out, and stop promoting things that are for adults to be considering and dealing with. Stop promoting that to your children, because that's what the purpose of this live was. Y'all gonna wind up getting a shit talking Saturday, because we have reached our 1 hour mark. But and I'm not staying on here no longer than that. But I want to say this before I get ready to go, and then I'll let Simone have her closing remarks as well. The purpose of this live was because it bothered my spirit. I want children to be able to thrive in their childhood. I want them to do the things and be innocent and learn. I want them to have a good life. I want them to have a setup to a good life. And pushing adult situations on children, to me, is an abomination. I'm not here for it. I don't mind if a child chooses when they get of age to understand what they actually are about to embark in. If you are in that, if you're in the community and that is who you are, live it. I represent it. I will support you 100% in it. But what I don't support is pushing it up on kids at an early age when they are not mentally developed enough to make that type of decision about their lives. I'm against it 100%. I feel like Gabrielle, D Wade, and the biological mama, if they gonna work together as a unit or not, they still don't need to be sensationalizing this and putting
Mm-mm.
it out there for the public, because like I said, right now he all right with it. Wait a couple years and his mindset may change, and he's gonna be embarrassed that this was ever out there. He gonna have to explain, because he got celebrity parents. They gonna be asking him to explain where he was in that moment. How you ask somebody that? I can't explain to you where I was in my head when I was 11 years old, and I'm 47 now. All I know is what I knew then. Why I was thinking that, I don't know. Just let these kids grow up. Stop pushing stuff on them. Being gay is not something that is a trend. That is your life. That's who you're gonna be for the rest of your life. And it comes with cons to the side of it. Just like being heterosexual, we ain't loving on each other neither, the way we should.
Mm-mm.
But especially when we still get living in a country where a lot of people go along to get along, but secretly don't like you. Like I tell people all the time, people that sit on the front row ain't always your fan. Let these kids grow up. Stop pushing stuff on them. If that's what he want to do, then I have no problem with that. But right now, at this stage in his life, he is not mentally prepared. He is not mentally developed enough to understand fully what he is saying. That's how I feel about that. And I hope that I was able to convey that. Who that's for? Somebody gave you that for Valentine's Day? Oh, you done got you a sweetheart. Oh, okay. Anyway, like I said, I just want these kids to have a chance to grow up healthy and happy and mentally stable. You put all that pressure on a child at a young age, you setting yourself up for a lifetime of possible therapy. Cause it ain't what you feel on it when you 11 years old is nowhere near who you gonna be when you even 18, 20, and going forward. You don't know. So love on each other. Let these kids grow up. If they come to you and they tell you that that is what's in their heads, don't shut down. Don't promote, but don't discriminate. Have that conversation and let time go by. And then eventually they will, if that's still who they want to be, support your child 100%. I don't agree with D Wade and Gabby and how they handling this situation. It's all right if you get down, those who gonna catch the replay. It's okay if you get down in the panic section and disagree with me. That's what we do over here. I don't want a room full of yes men. I need somebody to oppose me. As long as you oppose me, respectfully. We'll have no problem. Now I'll let Simone have her final thoughts and then we're gonna wrap up.
I like to say thank you everybody for coming over. I like to apologize for the many interruptions. Like I said, normally I'm not famous this time of day, so I don't know what's going on today. For some reason, I'm famous, but I want to basically piggyback off of what Nyca said. If I offended anyone, please do not. Please take this that I'm speaking from my heart. That's not my intentions to offend anyone, but I have to be honest as a parent how I would handle the situation and how I would encourage anyone else to handle it. I would not encourage you to tell your 12-year-old child to transition. I would encourage you to have them research it, make sure that's exactly what they want to do. And when they are of age, 18, if that is the decision that they make, then I'll be more than happy to support you and I'll be there every step of the way. And that goes for if your child was gay, um, non-conforming, whatever the different titles now are out there. I say support your kids with love, but just make sure they're old enough to understand the pros and cons that come with it. The reason why I'm so outspoken of this subject is because um, many know that my sister is an MD, a medical doctor, and she had a talk with me the other day, and she came home and she said to me, "You know, Simone, it's heartbreaking to me as a doctor that I have so many young people that come to me under the age of 20 that are now tested positive for HIV, and we just got the HIV numbers down, and now here they are rising again in the city of Detroit." She said, "I'm so hurt," and she said, "I've tested 4 women in the past week, 4 girls under the age of 20, all tested positive for HIV," and she said, and it just breaks my heart. She said, "No, I don't know their sexuality. That's none of my business." She said, "But all I can do is give them the medication and advice to help them." She said, and she finds that majority of her patients that are in the community are some of her smarter patients. She said, out of all her known lesbian patients, she said she has 0 that are HIV positive.
Hmm.
So for her to come back and talk to me and tell me that, and she said she wants me to talk to my daughter and my son about being positive, which I said I was going to talk to them this weekend about. I haven't sat down and had to talk. Yeah, we had this conversation last night. I am going to do that with my kids this weekend. So I just want parents to please educate your kids about the many, and it's not just about HIV or AIDS, the many STDs that are out there that they can accumulate and get from being out there young and silly and not thinking about the things they do. And I would just want everyone to support their children, talk to their children, and if there is something that they have a concern, please let them talk to you about it. And that's pretty much all I have to say. Nyca summed up everything on how I really felt about the situation, but I did want to share that with you all. And one other thing, Lori, you said that it's hard for kids to play nowadays because there are so many predators. I actually do agree with you because I'm one of those parents that's a paranoid parent. I said it that earlier, but we can't shelter our kids so much where they can't enjoy being kids either. My kids don't come outside. My daughter doesn't leave my front yard. So, or behind my fence in my backyard. So, those are the 2 ways I know how to protect her. And she also has on her iPhone where I can locate her wherever she's at. So, those are some ways I can keep tabs on my children. But I just want everyone to know thank you for coming out listening to us today. And I appreciate everyone's comment, and I am going to review the chat. And if there's any questions or anything that you would like to discuss with me, Nyca can always share my email with any of you. Thank you guys, and you guys have an awesome and wonderful weekend.
All right. Now, before I get ready to go, just read my book. I love you. My head, not my heart. I will respond. But I wanted you to know that before I get off here. I love you. Okay. Thank y'all for coming on. I would have stayed a little longer, but as y'all can see, I'm starting to feel bad again. So I'm gonna get up off of here. But thank y'all for coming down and through. There will be a shit talking Saturday tomorrow. I will set the timer on it for you guys. Thank you for flooding the chats with the purple hearts. Y'all know that made me feel good. Go ahead and give me some love, baby. And them purple hearts, drop them, baby. Drop them. That is so pretty when y'all do that for me. Don't do too damn much. I don't want your channel to get or your page to get snatched up. Yeah, I can't help you with that. All I can do is promote you over here if they get you. But you can drop a few purple hearts down there. Thank y'all for coming through and joining in this conversation. I'm not angry with anybody. If you don't agree with what I'm saying, I just wanted to put my perspective out there as well as my co-host Simone. And we appreciate y'all for coming. Now, on y'all way out, if you have not done your due diligence by me, which is give me a thumbs up, please do so on your way out. Thank you all for the Cash App and the Super Chat support today. It helps the channel. It helps me greatly. I appreciate it. And I look forward to having another one of these old conversations on next week where we will talk about a range of topics. This one was deep and I wanted to stay on it. That's why I'm going to give y'all a video tomorrow. Um, and talk about the celebrity, other celebrity stuff. But this was deep, and I think it was a very successful live. And I will see y'all asses on the next one. Okay, peace. Hit the damn button. Say it, Simone. Be
Hit the
James.
damn button.
Don't hang up. We going backstage, Simone.
Okay.
Bye, y'all.